Okay, I don't know if you've heard about this whole kerfluffle or what do you call it when people have a big fight? No. Well, anyways, there's this big fight on the internet that involves Skepchick and Richard Dawkins. Okay, what happened was Skepchick, whatever her real name is, I don't know. I don't follow her at all. But anyways, she was at some atheist convention. She got on an elevator at 4 in the morning, and there was some guy on the elevator, and I guess they talked a little bit. But anyways, what ended up happening was the guy asked Skepchick if she would come up to his room and have coffee with him, and she said no. Well, you'd think that would be the end of the story. But instead, she went to post how she was upset by this and how it made her feel uncomfortable that a guy had asked her to come to his room and have coffee. Um, which I can relate to the guy because I creep chicks out all the time. Anyway, she was creeped out. And so she complained about it. Well, anyways, Richard Dawkins made a statement about it. Oh, how horrible. Some guy asked you out. Let's tell all the Muslim women to shut up, about their concerns with their genitals being mutilated. And, they don't get to drive and they have to be accompanied by men wherever they go. And, basically saying, wait, Muslim women have nothing to complain about because some American woman got asked to come to somebody's room for coffee, and she said no, and that's where it ended. So, anyways, PZ Myers agrees with Skepchick, and not uh, and not Richard Dawkins. Um, I don't see how this is even. People have brought up feminism, and personally, I agree with Richard Dawkins. I don't think it was a big deal. Um, if women don't want to be made uncomfortable, they shouldn't be around men. They should stay the fuck away from men because we do, and it's not like the guy was trying to be creepy. It's not like he was trying to rape her or anything. He just asked her, "Hey, would you like to come to my room and have some coffee?" Of course, that could be seen as creepy, especially asking her on an elevator. But you know what? To the guy, it was just okay. Personally, I don't agree at all with Skepchick. I'm sorry. She doesn't know what it's like to be a man, and we get rejected constantly, but we still try. Do you know why? The survival of the human race depends on it. If guys never got creepy, there would be no more babies. And what's creepy to one girl might be appreciated and seen as a compliment to another. And you can never know just by looking at him. I don't think the guy was out of line. Now, there's a lot of atheists have been commenting that, you know, this happens to us all the time. Guys are always hitting on us at these atheist conventions. They brush up against us and touch our breasts, and we're just constantly feeling like second-class citizens. It's not atheist men in particular, ladies. It's men in general. You're always going to get that from men, and you're never going to get away from it. The only thing you can do is scream about it, and I guess that's what you're doing. That it's unfair, it's not right, and men are pigs. But that's always going to be. I mean, women never initiate anything. They don't. They simply do not, except for Sadie Hawkins dances, and those are few and far between, okay? Men like women. They want to get in their pants. This will always happen. It will continue to be a problem no matter what group you associate yourselves with, unless you want to go real extreme. Well, Muslims in like Sweden, I guess, do most of the rapes there. So, even extreme religious fanatics, you won't be able to get away from men having sex drives and libidos and asking you out and making you uncomfortable. My mother told me when I was very young that life is not fair. And indeed, my glasses are crooked and it's bugging me. Indeed, life is not fucking fair. And you are going to be made uncomfortable. Um, you know what? I've had gross women hit on me, and I felt a little creeped out. But I went on about my business, and life continued. And I'm sorry that this guy had the temerity to ask you for coffee. You said no, he left you alone, he left. Personally, I understand it made you uncomfortable, skeptic, but you're never going to get away from that. That's just men. And we won't evolve away from it. And feminism, if it ever has the effect that you want it to have, where men will no longer ask you up to their rooms for coffee, um, it will. It will. In about 40 years, no one will be asking you out for coffee anymore. And you'll be more comfortable, but you're going to have to grow into that age because right now you're a young, attractive woman, and men are going to seek your company. And yes, they're going to do it with their penises in mind because that's just life. And you atheist women need to grow the fuck up as far as that goes. Men are not going to change. You can try to change our attitudes, and you will to a certain extent. But something as harmless as a guy on an elevator asking you for coffee, stuff like that's probably never going to end. And I think it's kind of ridiculous that we should even have to state that. You should have seen it as a compliment and just moved on. The, you told him no. He left the elevator. He got rejected. But you continue on with this grave injustice you see, and I don't sympathize with you. Richard Dawkins doesn't either. Perhaps we should. Perhaps we don't get it. Perhaps we don't see where you're coming from. And no, I don't. I don't consider this anywhere near as important or even an issue as like Muslim women rights in the third world are, like Richard Dawkins brought up, and I sympathize with him, and not with you. And I think he's being vilified and demonized. And I'm not even that big of a fan of his. I like P.Z. Myers usually, but on this particular subject, I think P.Z. Myers and Skeptrick are wrong. And I think it's ridiculous and it's a bit blown out of proportion. He asked a girl, some atheist asked a girl, she'd like to come to his room and have coffee. She rejected him, made him feel bad, I'm sure. But then she wants to go on and blow it up into a much larger subject, which is, oh, why are men trying to get laid? Well, men are always going to try to get laid. Until you chemically castrate them, men will try to get laid. It's called fucking testosterone, and grow the fuck up.